Hi everyone, I'm Carolyn Cole from the Eastern Shoveltown Cultural District, and I'm here with our Artisans on Display program at the Eastern Community Access Television Station. I want to present another one of our very talented local artists, Lynne Atwood, who really specializes at this time in watercolors. Hi Lynne, nice to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
Lynne is also a tutor, aren't you, an English tutor?
I am. That's kind of the way I make some money, and this is more of a hobby slash, when I make money I'm really happy, but I don't have expectations.
Right.
So.
And Lynne and I discussed that she has been painting for quite a long time, but because we're about the same age, we decided we're not going to tell you how long that is. But you can tell from her artwork that there's a lot of experience behind it. And I want to start with this particular painting because it's it's beautiful, it's very unusual, and it's a very simple method that you used. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. This was pretty much pouring color, pouring all these different colors, the pinks, the blues, the yellows, the greens. And then it was sort of experimental because I took a fine tip magic marker, the finest tip I could find, and I had a reference photo, but I just started drawing in the flowers, and I started from the inside and I kind of worked my way out. It's not unlike me because I'm always very detailed about my sketching, but this one wasn't sketched first, they just sort of bloomed. So it was a lot of fun, and I think I have tried working with marker, and there's another piece down there where I use marker, the very fine tip, and you have so much control. It's awesome. It's better than a brush. So
I can imagine.
Yeah, I like control.
Okay. So then we'll move on to this piece.
This is a giclée print of a really large painting I did quite some time ago, and all of this kind of work in the bark is done with salt, which is a really fun process where you put your paint down, kind of a darker color, and then I use large crystal salt, like kosher salt, sprinkle it on, you wait till it dries, and it soaks up the pigment so that when you brush it away, you get all these cool little openings, which looks like bark, or it could look like rocks, or it could, it has a number of different applications. But I love trees, and I like the pop of red, and it was just a really fun painting to do. It has more impact with the large one, because it's really, you feel like you're in the forest. But anyway, that was a fun one to do.
And then this is kind of interesting. Is it, did you travel to do this, or just catch a...
Somebody sent me the photograph, and I fell in love with it because it's so peaceful. So I started out with pouring paint. I poured paint in that corner, that's the yellow, and then the red is coming from this direction, and then blue, and that makes my underpainting. And then I started building, as you do in watercolor, over the coloration, but it gave me a way of not staring at a white piece of paper because there was already color there. And I just built it and left some of the white of the paper, because that's what watercolor allows you to do. You don't have to use white, really. You could just use the white of the paper if you're careful. That's a print that's been really popular. I've done a number of runs of it, and people seem to like it, I think, because it's so peaceful.
It is, definitely.
I sold the original, though, so I don't have it anymore, and I'm kind of sad that I did that, but I still had the prints. Okay, this one is Edgartown on Martha's Vineyard, and white picket fence and the roses on the fence are so typical of Martha's Vineyard.
And New England.
And New England, but I love white picket fences with roses, colorful roses, or something about it. It's simple, but it's quintessential Martha's Vineyard, and I'm not sure that tavern is still there, but I love the photograph, and I was able to get good lighting and shadows, and was just a fun thing to do. Okay, this has had very many iterations. It's a tile, it's a painting. I've done it larger, I've done it smaller. I just like it.
Very simple.
I've done it in oil too. It's simple, but I love the colors. I love the, you know, the beachy colors, and then there's a pop of bright blue, and it's got a nice shadow. And I didn't take the photo; somebody sent it to me, but I'll take whatever people give me.
Yeah,
if there's
it
a great
works.
photo and I have permission to use it, I do, because why not? You can't be everywhere.
No,
But-
you can't.
so that's in watercolor, and then
Well, we'll go over here,
Yeah.
and this is something that Lynn does very well. Is we're going to show you some tiles, and these were paintings, obviously probably a larger scale, and
much.
and she's had them transposed onto tile, and these are really great. They're very interesting, very decorative. And it's amazing when you look at the painting and then come here and you see the tile, that we have them for sale at the Art Co-op Gallery at 50 Main Street. And they're just amazing. I know it's a limited edition.
it is.
And this is another one up here with the same C-type motif, which I find very, very peaceful. And I know you've explained this painting to us, so you can probably explain the process and something about the other.
Well, the process for the tiles is simple. I just take a photograph, and if I don't think it's clear enough, I bring it into Photoshop and kind of play with it until I think I have a really good image. And then I send it off to someone who I think is magical. I don't know how he does it. It's some kind of heat transfer process where he puts the photograph on a tile, and he puts a hanger on the back, and you know, they're always just so. They always mirror the original exactly. In fact, sometimes I think they almost look better than the originals because it's so shiny and
You're right.
glossy that it makes the colors pop. So he's an artist himself, and so he knows what he's doing.
Right.
So I now have 10 designs. So I
And-
just test mark it and see what works.
Right.
This is a new one, and I printed this one because I thought this one needed company.
Right.
So I think those would work well together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I find like this one very peaceful and relaxing. You know, the whole idea of
Hands with
But-
shells.
yeah.
Yeah.
the,
Yep. And sandy fingers.
Yes.
So there's those two tiles, and I guess they're kind of spread around.
Yeah, and here's some more here. And I know the first one, the radishes, the painting itself was displayed in our Legacy Art Show, juried art show this summer. And I know that that particular piece has won some awards as
It
well.
has. It has. I haven't sold the original. Still have it. But I love red, obviously. I use a lot of red, and of course red and green are complements, so
Yep.
you know they're going to work together. And I don't like the taste of radishes, but I think they're really neat because of the way they grow with the roots down like that. And it's every shade of red that you can imagine in there. And since I love that color, it was
It
just
worked.
fun. Yeah. There's blue reds, there's orangey reds, there's purpley reds. It's just a lot of fun.
Yep.
So.
And we have more reds here.
Yeah, more red and red. My strawberries. I like painting strawberries too. I don't know why, but I think there's something kind of country and I don't know. They're appealing and they taste good.
Yeah, the taffy apples over here look like you could just bite right into them.
I have another picture of candy apples that I'm going to do that's going to be wild because they're not just the red, but they're caramel apples
Yeah.
and they have M&Ms and all kinds of texture, nuts, and I've got this whole photograph that I just took. I'm not going to do all of them, but I think that might be a really happy painting.
Right.
I
Fun.
could see it maybe even in a child's room.
Yes.
So I'm going to try that. That's next.
Very good.
Um,
Now, this is one of your more recent
It is.
tiles, which
It
I
is.
love. And was this a painting also, I believe?
It was a commission, a woman asked me to paint a dragonfly for her daughter. Her daughter loves dragonflies. And I really didn't know how pretty they were. I never thought about it until I started researching it. And they're gorgeous. So I guess you could say I cheated a little bit. I guess you'd call this a mixed media because I wanted to get all this lacy effect. And I went back to my fine tip magic marker. And it works great. Obviously, if you make a mistake, you're cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't lift it, but it gives you so much control to do all that lacy, fine work. So,
Well, that's an example of an experienced artist too, because you have to have a lot of control.
you do.
Yeah.
You do. Once you've made that mark,
It's
that's
it.
it. That's it. But yeah, it was fun to do. I mean, I think I'm hooked on using magic marker in certain.
If it works,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you can't enter something like that in a juried show for watercolor because then it's considered mixed media.
Right.
Because it's not, magic marker isn't water-based, but,
Oh, it could be.
well,
They do
yeah,
have
it could
some.
be. It could be, but, and more tiles.
Yeah, and these are really fun.
This is a big painting that, again, that I still have. I've done it probably 3 or 4 times. I have giclée prints, which there's one over there of this design, and people just like it. It's kind of unusual because there's a reflection in those glasses of something that was across the street, and they're upside down. So if you really look here, I had to turn the whole painting upside down when I painted it, because I can't do that in my head. But yeah, I just like every pane has kind of a different.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun thing when you think of it. If you sit back someplace and look through windows at what's
Yeah.
people watcher or
Yep.
whatever, you do see images do look a little different. And this is a newer piece, I understand.
That's new as well. And again, I thought that needed company. So I picked another image that has sort of the deep purpley colors.
Right.
And I think those could really, be hung together and look really pretty. That I could see them.
I think we did it.
Yeah.
I think it looks really nice.
I think they could be framed too and look gorgeous in the same frame. But I think those two work well together. I like reflections too. I think they're fun to do. Okay, this painting is what my original. It was the starting off point for my tile that I just showed you, and this was a still life that I set up, and I just like collecting interesting fabrics, and I had that pretty glass, and I just kind of made it up. I like the intricate pattern. I like the way it kind of zigzags. And so your eye kind of goes around the glass, and it just worked. And I like the colors in that, the golds and the
Again, I like
purple.
the reflection. It's very interesting. In the wine itself, in the wine glass is very interesting.
Thank you.
You also, one of the tiles that you showed us before is right in front of you.
Right.
And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay. I call it Wine Glass Reflections, and this is a giclée print. I have the original in my home, and this is one that's been really popular too. I've sold quite a few of these. Again, because I think people find it interesting and a little different. It's not just bottles and glasses. I think the reflections are what makes it interesting to people, and the window, the panes kind of give you some perspective. You feel like you're sort of spying. So I like painting windows too.
Now, the last painting we're going to show everybody today, it's very interesting, very relaxed. It's live oak, is that the name of it?
Yeah, it grows in Florida. I was in Sarasota at the Marie Selby Gardens, and they had this massive tree that I had never seen before. And so I photographed it and I put in the bench just to show the scale of the tree, because the tree is huge. And it's got the Spanish moss that hangs from it is a parasite, but they have sort of a beneficial It's like the hippo and those tick birds,
Yes,
and there's
yes.
something about that plant hanging from that tree, which is good for both of them. So no, I just love the tree, and I
It
took,
makes a beautiful painting
yeah,
too.
I just took a little license with a few like little purpley colors and kind of bumped it up. But too bad we don't have those trees here, because
They are gorgeous.
it's a gorgeous tree. So
Well, thank you very much.
You're
It was
welcome.
very entertaining, and we learned a lot. And good luck with continuing your career in art.